Let's talk about the big changes with the Secure Act 2.0 that went into effect in 2023. All right, we're going to do a three-part series on the changes when it comes to your investment accounts, your IRAs, and the Secure Act 2.0 that was just enforced here in 2023. And really there's over 90 different changes, so it can get to be a lot of information when it comes to what went into place here early in 2023. But we're going to do a three-part series. We're going to make it streamlined just to 4 or 5 topics per session here, just to talk about some of the key points that you should know when it comes to the big Secure Act changes here that went into effect here in 2023. And the first one we're going to talk about is your RMDs. And again, remember what RMD stands for. That's your required minimum distribution. So if you have any sort of retirement account, an IRA, a 401k, a 403b, a TSP, a 457 plan, so when you put money into these accounts and you have to take money out sometime because you never pay taxes on this money, right? And so the RMD says, in the past it was 70.5 if you remember back in the day. But then the Secure Act, the first version was passed in 2019, which went into effect in 2020. It says now you have to wait till 72 to take your required minimum distribution out. You have to take a small percentage out each year and pay taxes on that money. Well, what just passed here was now the new change went to 73. So now, when you're 73 and older, you have to take a certain percentage out of your retirement accounts and pay taxes on that money. And what is that percentage? It's 3.77 is the percentage. The divisor is 26.5. You get the same number regardless. So let's just say we all have $1 million and you divide that out by 26.5. That means you have to take out $37,700 roughly out of your IRAs and pay taxes on that. And so that's what it is. And every year you get older, you have to take a higher percentage out. But now the new number is 73. So last year, if you were 71, anticipating turning 72 this year under the old rules, thinking you had to take out RMDs, you don't have to. You actually get to postpone that one more year and let those dollars recover from the 2022 year that we had. The second tip here. In the past, if you had a Roth 401k and you left those monies in those Roth 401k plans, a lot of people didn't know, but you were required to take required minimum distributions from that Roth. Yes, even the Roth money you pay taxes on, you were required to take an RMD out of that Roth if you left it with your former employer. The new rule goes into effect not this year, but next year. So in 2024, if you have Roth 401ks, the IRS will no longer require you to take an RMD payment out of that account. Now, if you're 74 or older and you still have money in these accounts and you've already been taking RMDs from there, you're going to have to continue to keep taking RMDs from your Roth 401k accounts because you left it in the plan. You really shouldn't be leaving those Roth accounts in those employer sponsor plans because the IRS is forcing you to take money out of account that grows tax-free and withdrawals are tax-free. So tip, 2024, get those monies out of those Roth 401ks early, or else next year they're going to waive that anyways. Now let's talk about your IRAs and when it comes to contributions. For several years it's been the catch-up contribution, which means if you want to fund an IRA, contribute to an IRA, you can have the standard contribution if you're under 50 years old, but if you're over 50, that catch-up contribution has been $1,000 for as long as I can remember, right? You get to put a little bit more money into your IRA if you're 50 and older. What's going to affect next year in 2024, they're going to do inflation-adjusted catch-up contributions to let that $1,000 incrementally grow. So who knows if it's going to be $1,035 or $1,050 next year on top of the standard contribution. Great, at least it's going to continue to increase as inflation has grown as well, so you can put a little bit more money into those IRAs starting next year. Now the last one we're going to talk about goes with kind of like the catch-up contributions with your IRAs. It's your employer sponsor plan catch-up contributions. In 2023, those catch-up contributions are $7,500. So reality is you can put up to $30,000 into a 401k here in 2023. But when it goes in 2025, they're looking to increase these catch-up contributions more in these employer-sponsored plans. We don't know exactly what that number will be, but we know the minimum is going to be is $10,000 because it could be a little bit more depending on what the catch-up contribution is in 2024. So what we're looking at in 2025, the catch-up contribution, if you're 50 and older in these employer-sponsored plans, will be additional $10,000 minimum. Could be a little bit more on top of the standard contribution. So you can really make some great increases in catch-up contributions, especially that last 10 years of your work history, to get a lot of money put aside in your retirement plans. So those are just 4 tips when it comes to the changes of the Secure Act. We have 2 more parts coming your way, part 2 and part 3. We're going to keep that around 5-7 minutes as well. One last tip on that goes along with that last one is, if you're a high income earner, if you make $145,000 or more starting in 2024, your catch-up contributions are going to be required to go into the Roth. So if you want to make additional contributions, to max out that maximum contribution in your employer sponsor plans, the catch-up contribution, which is now $7,500, and that could be obviously more in 2025, it's going to have to go into the Roth, which means you will not get a tax deduction for contributing in that catch-up contributions into the Roth. Not a bad idea anyways. We should have more Roths than what we do have. If you like the information here on this IRAs and everything we've been doing with retirement, click and subscribe, and we want to get more of this good information out to you.